Today, let's talk a little bit about how to engage your core and ride a better half halt. Now, half halt to a lot of people seems like this mystical unicorn that everyone talks about, but not many people really understand. So usually I feel like when a lot of people are riding, their trainers are going half halt, good, no, more half halt, you need more half halt. They didn't answer that half halt. And the rider's either going, awesome, this is great, I'm glad my trainer is telling me that I need to half halt. I'm not really sure what I did though. Or they're going, I'm trying everything in the book and I just do not understand why my horse won't answer my half halt. It's a valid question. The half halt means a lot of things. It can mean getting your horse to rebalance. It can mean getting your horse's attention because something new is coming. It can mean that you need to package the energy. It can mean that you need to rechannel the energy in a different direction. It can mean that you need to, I don't know, change your own center of gravity and balance. It can mean a lot of things. So today we're going to just use 2 different exercises to engage your core to start developing more of a clear communication with your horse. Because if you're using your core, you're then telling your horse, hey buddy, I just need you to use your core, something's happening. And then whatever your intention is can be a bit clearer. So the first exercise that we're going to use involves a balloon. So once you have your balloon, you can find a chair or you can stand or something. Usually I suggest doing this not on your horse at first. And all you're going to do is sit like you're riding with your front bone up, not pointing down to the bottom of your chair. And you're going to find all 4 sides of your core equally, okay? A lot of people like to sit like this in a chair, or they end up sitting like this when they're trying really hard, or something like that. You just want to find yourself pretty square, all right? Then what you're going to do is you'll end up taking a deep breath in, and then you want to inflate your balloon without puffing up your cheeks, okay? So you're going to need to kind of use your core to squeeze the air out of your lungs and into the balloon. So it'll look a little bit like this. Okay? So what a lot of people tend to do is either puff their cheeks, and then you're using your face muscles to squeeze the air in instead of your diaphragm. They also end up either curling like this or like this to fill their lungs. So for all of it, you want to sit there and just fill yourself up and then squeeze the air out of your lungs and into the balloon. So a couple of mistakes will look like this. Okay, now I got the air in the balloon, but it was way harder, and I don't know anybody that thinks that their horse is going to rebalance when they're going like this, right? So again, another thing that might happen is this. Okay, that didn't look fun or comfortable. My thighs hurt. My horse would have no idea what my seat is doing. So that one's out too, okay? This is what it should look like. So you can use that just when you're riding if your horse is comfortable with the noise of a balloon, and also I haven't found a way to let the air out of the balloon without making noise. So just check in with your horse and tell them that they're doing a really good job before you just hop on and gallivanting away with a balloon in your mouth. The second exercise just needs a Thera-band. So what I did is I just bought a big roll of Thera-band off of Amazon, but you can get them at pretty much any exercise store or something like that. And you want it to be a relatively low resistance one. So we have blue. I think the other colors might be green and yellow, but you can look it up. So what you want is, this one's a little bit long, but it's what we're gonna use. You wanna have about 2 feet, okay? and you're just going to tie it in a knot so that the loop ends up being about a foot, okay? So, and you can adjust this for your body type, but you want it to be slightly difficult. So at the end, you want it to be the knot and your loop to be about 1 foot, okay? Now, you might have seen that I used my loop, my Thera-band loop in the video on how to keep your hands quiet. So it's a really helpful tool to just have around your barn. So what you're going to do to engage your core and find a better half halt with your band is put your wrists into your band, and then for the half halt, you're going to stretch your wrists apart, okay? And then to release a half halt, you release your hands. Okay, so this one's great because you can gather your reins. It'll also help you keep your hands still. If you haven't checked out that video, go on over to my page and check it out. It's a really great one. And so you can kind of kill two birds with one stone. Hands quiet, but we're going to talk about our core. So this is going to help you really engage your back core underneath your shoulder blades and your upper abs, okay? So you're just going to, again, half halt, open it, and then release. And now if you're doing this in a chair or as a part of an exercise, not on a horse, you don't want to hold this forever because that's actually not the exercise. The exercise is turning those muscles on and then turning them off. It's not turning them on and holding them because your horse will not understand that that's a half halt if you just sit here like this forever. Okay, so it's half halt, okay. Widen your hands, yep. These two exercises made you feel like you tamed that half halt unicorn. Let me know below. Now, you can use either of these exercises when you're on your horse, and a great way to do that is to just use the four walls of your arena and try halting into each corner. Now, halting in the corner by itself is a really great exercise because it teaches your horse to rock back, to think about you instead of just blowing through the corner. It then is really helpful because you have a wall in front of you. And for practicing with your bands or your balloon, it's really helpful because then you kind of have something else to encourage your horse to stop. What you're going to do is you'll ride down the rail and you'll halt still facing the rail. You don't want your horse to start turning the corner because that kind of defeats the purpose. You want them to get quite close to the fence in front of you so that that helps with a visual physical aid for them, like, hey, I go here and ho. Usually horses start learning that they just kind of blow off the corner, so this is really helpful for them to understand that you don't always do that. So with either your band or your balloon, you're going to ride towards the corner, and when you want to start pulling, before you start pulling, you're going to either start inflating your balloon or opening your wrists so that you pull, right? And before you pull, you want to make sure that you engaged your core so that that cue comes before the halt, right? So that part is the half halt. It's the engaging your core for the halt that helps them rebalance and get their attention instead of the pulling for the real halt. Okay, so you can do this in the walk at first, and then you can try it trot to halt, and then canter to halt, and have a little fun with it. What was the most helpful part for you? And do you have any other ideas for the half halt?